reported yesterday about the German government, the German foreign minister, describing no deal outcome as irresponsible, as Michel Barnier met with the German government and Angela Merkel. And we now see a report today with the EU seemingly in a state of panic and wanting an intervention from Boris Johnson for a deal to be done. I'm going to bring you all the very latest on this, guys, but if you could please start off as ever by clicking subscribe and the bell so you don't miss future reports. Really appreciate that, and it stops you missing all the latest as I bring it to you here on the West Monster channel on YouTube. So the Telegraph today with the story, pick up the phone, Boris. Absent PM urged to call EU leaders to salvage Brexit trade talks. And it does seem to me there is a palpable sense of panic on the EU side when it comes to a deal. And Boris, as I said in this Telegraph piece, Boris Johnson needs to pick up the phone to European leaders if he is serious about salvaging a free trade deal with Brussels. EU diplomatic sources have warned. Funny how things change, isn't it? Because it wasn't that long ago when the EU was reportedly united in everything having to go through Michel Barnier. And no, we're not going to deal with it at national level was the sort of official EU line. Now, seemingly, that has changed, and EU diplomatic sources telling the Telegraph that Boris Johnson should get in touch and stage an intervention, seemingly desperate, I would say, on the EU side for Boris Johnson to get involved and speak to other European leaders, EU leaders. Trade negotiations in this report, it said, could drag into December or fail completely. They said, EU diplomatic sources said, unless Johnson stopped being so detached and absent from Brexit. One quoted as a senior EU diplomat quoted as saying, is he even interested? What does it say to the 27 leaders when an issue as important as this is only dealt with by David Frost? Again, funny, isn't it? We were told not that long ago that everything must go through Michel Barnier. Now, the EU in this state of panic want an intervention from Boris Johnson. Clearly, they don't like the cut of Lord Frost's jib much, perhaps unsurprisingly, given that he's held the line all the way through this process. And again, at the end of last week, saying that on the area of the EU's level playing field restrictions and on fisheries, there were large gaps that remain that the UK side had no intention on buckling. That was the latest that we heard from Lord Frost, and he's been completely consistent on that all the way through. That as in a fully independent country, the UK won't sign up, the British government won't sign up to massive EU restrictions. Let's hope they hold the line on that one. But this source quoted, EU source quoted in the Telegraph is saying it's about time people higher up the hierarchy started involving themselves if they want to achieve something. Again, this seems like quite a petulant kick out to me, in as much as they obviously don't like the fact that Lord Frost has held the line, and they want Boris to sort of cave in and get involved, give the EU what they want in order so the EU can have a UK deal. And interestingly as well, specifically EU sources in this story claim to have said that Theresa May, unlike Theresa May, the PM, Boris, isn't interested in Brexit and delegates everything to Chief Negotiator David Frost. So they obviously, on the EU side, preferred it much more when you had a Jelly as the Prime Minister, who obviously got completely swept in the negotiations and effectively gave the EU everything they wanted. No wonder they don't like the current approach. No wonder there's a sense, seemingly, of panic. And the Telegraph understands, in their report, that the EU governments have become so pessimistic that at least one member state has already begun wargaming post-no-deal Brexit negotiations. European capitals reportedly say that Boris Johnson doesn't have much to say on substance when he held urgent Brexit talks with Ursula von der Leyen, the EU Commission President, which happened on Saturday. So seemingly no caving in from Boris on that, on Saturday at least, in that conversation with Ursula von der Leyen. A diplomat in this story contrasting Johnson's style unfavourably with former Prime Minister Theresa May, who was always on the phone to fellow leaders such as Angela Merkel and Emmanuel Macron. As I say it again, it's no surprise, is it, that the EU preferred May's approach of diving in and rolling over and giving the EU everything they want to Boris delegating to Lord Frost holding the line. Again, a senior diplomat quoted as saying the chances of there being a deal becoming less and less by the day. That's clear. But one quote is saying as well, but one reason why our leaders can't do much is because Boris Johnson hasn't been engaging. UK sources saying that Lord Frost handled negotiation on the basis of the EU's own rule. Exactly, that Michel Barnier negotiated on behalf of the whole EU. It was up to the bloc to ensure the UK positions were communicated to its capitals. I'll say it again. The EU 1 minute was saying that everything goes with Michel Barnier, now seemingly in desperation and panic want Boris Johnson to jump in. And a senior EU diplomat also saying that substantial movement was needed on the level playing field and the governance structure enforcing the new trading partnership. Also talking about the possibility that a UK-EU trade deal may only be agreed after the 1st of January, after a no deal. And perhaps then the EU would take that for the EU to realise that the UK doesn't want to be restricted by so-called level playing field provisions. So there is said to be some speculation on the EU side that Boris Johnson may cave in last minute, may offer concessions last minute, may change his position last minute. And of course, we very much hope that that isn't the case. The diplomat quote is saying, all this positive language from the UK makes us believe that they're going to do something in the next 4 weeks. Well, don't forget again, Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, set 15th of October as the deadline. He said if a deal isn't agreed by then, the UK will effectively move on, assume no deal, assume WTO, and push on. Now, it isn't just this one Telegraph report. There's a Politico report as well saying Brussels is clear. The UK has lost the room and maybe its chances for a deal with it. Brexit was just a brief information point at the European Council summit that wrapped up last Friday, but the mood was clear around the table. The EU official quoted as saying there is the impression more and more that it will be very difficult to get a deal with the UK because we don't have the impression that they put on the table a real margin in order to make a deal possible. And another report just from today, a top EU official, Maros Sefcovic, EU Commission Vice President, saying that the chances of a deal being done by the end of the year are looking less and less likely as time goes on. Of course, Sefcovic was the EU official who met with Michael Gove, basically said that the UK internal market bill clauses within it that override the rotten withdrawal agreement are unacceptable. Michael Gove rejecting that, MPs then voting for the internal market bill. So the UK not backing down on the internal market bill. And as I say, Sefcovic representing the EU Commission today saying that a deal and no deal looking increasingly likely. And as I said, when you look at this, it has that look, that feel that on the EU side, perhaps it is finally starting to sink in that no deal is likely, that the UK is holding firm, and they want Boris Johnson effectively to roll over and give in to demands. Now, I very much hope that doesn't happen. I very much hope that the British government hold the line. But very interesting to see now. The EU effectively want Boris Johnson to intervene and do a deal. Let me know what you think that Boris Johnson and the government should do as the clock ticks down to the end of the transition. Let me know what you think the government will do. What's your prediction for what's going to happen? As ever, you can rely on the West Monster channel to bring you all the very latest on this. So please remember, if you've enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful and informative, please click the thumbs up button. That really helps me out. Click subscribe and the bell so you don't miss future reports. And of course, thank you very much for watching.